Hello, my name is Malia Felipe, and the major that I want to pursue is in theater, specifically in production and design. One of my theater experiences that I've had the privilege of having is being the props designer for my community colleges show that they put on last year in June called Hearts Like Fist. So I was the props designer because I was taking a class for my major that I'm taking at my community college, which is also in the production and design, but more specifically in set and lighting design. And that class, technical production, its goal is to teach students how a show works from behind the scenes. And so how it does that by assigning every student a job to work in the production that the school is currently showing at the moment. And so I was given the role of props designer, which was a very challenging and very fun job. It was my first time ever being behind the stage in theater. I've had a background in acting before in high school, and so it was a lot of fun to just experience being the props designer. And it was very extensive because I had roughly about 45 props, and some of them were a little bit more difficult for me to source or to find because of the nuance of them. So Hearts Like Fist is a superhero comic book style play, and it's about these crime fighters who are fighting the evil villain Dr. X, who injects poison into couples' hearts so that they die. And so just to briefly explain, one of my most important props that I had to come up with, whether that was either sourcing it or making it, was an artificial heart. So the reason why this prop was very important was because the doctor in the show Hearts Like Fist was designing this artificial heart to run like a natural heart so that he could save people's lives. And so through trial and error, I was able to discover that 3D printing the heart would be the best bet. So I collaborated with the lighting designer's spouse actually, and he 3D printed the heart. But because I wanted the heart to look like it was a living, breathing heart, I wanted to look like it was actually beating, I also collaborated with the master electrician to install lights into the heart to make it pulse, which you will see hopefully in my portfolio. But that was just one of the many props that was a little bit more difficult to figure out. Some other ones were sourcing a hospital bed for a cheap price. And honestly, I was able to do all of these props and get it done in time and be able to find solutions for these problems through the Lord. The Lord was definitely helping me throughout this whole entire process. But specifically for the hospital bed, I had a budget of $200 for roughly 45 props, and some of them needed to be built. So sourcing that was very difficult, but I was able, thankfully, to use an old hospital bed that one of our other campuses for my community college didn't need anymore, and they were willing to give it to us to use for the show, which was very appreciated. But it was kind of a last minute thing. Again, some other props that I had were I had to make crime fighter watches, which is the crime fighters, it's like a bat signal for them. The idea is that they use these to communicate to the other crime fighters to call them to help for when they're fighting villains, in this case Dr. X. And so it was just a lot of fun just navigating and experiencing and trying to figure out how to solve these problems, how to make solutions, and also how to do it within a budget and within time. And I was able to complete that once again through the help of the Lord. I could not have made it without his help. One of the reasons I want to pursue specifically theater and production and design here at ORU is because of the values that I have as a Christian and that ORU provides. As a Christian, I've seen or I've heard of the shows and musicals that are being put out nowadays, and the themes and just the content in them do not glorify the Lord. And my goal as a theater artist and maker is to glorify the Lord through my design. My goal is always so that the audience can see some aspect of God through my design, and I believe that ORU will help me accomplish and achieve this goal. Thank you so much for listening, and have a good day.